Hey, good morning. Happy Pallet Day. What's up? Happy Thursday. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 861. It's Goodwill Pallet Day. And I will say, it's not actually a pallet that I buy. To kind of answer some questions, when I say I buy a pallet, usually the first question is, how do you get it home? Smell that coffee brewing. So, it's not really a pallet I'm buying. I'm buying a Gaylord filled with baseball cards, which a Gaylord is just a pallet with hard cardboard, making it a huge box. So it's a Gaylord, and I don't like lift it into a truck or my SUV. I pull everything out of the Gaylord, which usually my back hurts. So that's how I get it home. And in a Gaylord full of baseball cards, fits just about perfectly in the back of my Ford Edge SUV, depending on how I Tetris all of the boxes. This one was a little, this was good and bad. So the problems I have with this is probably my 12th pallet total, maybe 13 or 14. The problems that I get in hauling the pallets are obviously the flatter boxes, your monster boxes, those types of boxes. Where are they? At the bottom of the Gaylord pallet. What's the last thing? What's the first thing that I want to put into my SUV? Those boxes. What's the last thing that I usually have room for? Those boxes. So I have to get creative and leave space. And typically on top of the Gaylord, which they sprinkle, it's just sometimes there's loose cards, which they sprinkle on top to entice you to buy, which I don't need enticing anymore. Let's just get to the good stuff. Fortunately, this time it was a lot of like smaller which is fortunate and unfortunate. It's fortunate in the fact that I don't have to get super creative loading my car when I'm, unloading the pallet, putting it into my car. The bad thing is when I bring it into the house, I've got to get like storage tubs, and I'm like, and it feels like it takes longer, which is not good because I've got to get everything out by Saturday night, so I can get my quarter cards into my car so I can set up at the Janesville Card Show on Sunday. So I've got to get creative here. Where am I going to put this stuff to where I know I still need to sort through it? So we're just going to kick it off in style today. This morning, we're going to go through some of the things. So I was a few minutes late because I was digging through my trunk. And when I say that, I wasn't cherry picking. Basically, what I brought down here to go through with you live this morning was stuff that just fell out of my trunk when I opened the hatch. That's another downside to when they're smaller boxes, because they get piled up and they get shaked, rattled, and rolled as I'm driving down the highway. And when I open the hatch, all of a sudden it's like an avalanche. Sometimes I can catch my hatch, and that's also a problem with like the automatic. It's like, oh, stop. And so I'm like, ugh. But when they're like several, if it's just a couple boxes, I can hold them up and then open the hatch and we're all good. But when it's like 17 boxes, I only have two hands, and I'm trying as best I can. So whatever slipped through fell onto my garage floor. Thank God there's not like rain, water, snow in my garage. The floor is fairly clean for a garage. Not wet. That's key. Otherwise, everything that would have fell out cards would have been ruined. So that's what I brought downstairs. I brought a couple of different things, which is what fell out onto the garage. So I'm going to kind of share with you why these particular things. Well, one is like a dice roll on whether it's good or not. So before we get into more Goodwill pallet talk, let's say hello. By the way, make sure you sign up to the Facebook page. We've got some great conversation going on, and I think I need to get on there more. I am terrible on Facebook, and I am terrible on responding to comments on YouTube itself. So I apologize. But I do typically, when I get alerts, I'll read through some stuff. I saw a comment that I wanted to share from Ben. Ben, I appreciate the comment. Now I can't find it. See, I'm also not very good with perusing. Oh, I've got to go. New posts. Here we go. All right. So what did Ben say? Where's Ben's? There it is. So Ben says, I think the content on this page is unlike any other page I've been a part of. A wealth of knowledge and a great mix of hobby love, but also hobby selling. Much love and respect to you all. Ben, I appreciate that. That's what I want the Facebook group to be, just like here in the chat. Sure, we don't all have the same thoughts, views, opinions, but as long as we're not dicks, that's what we want, right? We don't have to talk about the stuff. We don't have to get into arguments. Yeah, sure, we all disagree on something, but we want a happy little hobby community. So that's what we're building over on the Facebook group. Check it out. Link is now in the chat, in the description to the video. We're sharing our mail days. We're sharing cool pickups. We're asking questions. Max had a great question on, I think it's cardboard, which I don't have an answer to because I don't do bubble mailers in bulk, but others might. So if you happen to do bubble mailers, Max wants to know, I know we have a lot of bulk sellers in here, but assuming we have plenty that sell stuff $20 up as well, how are people shipping stuff at that level? And so what he's looking for is like when you're protecting cardboard. So he said he lost his cardboard source, as I usually package the cards in a team bag sandwiched between two custom cut cardboard pieces and into a bubble mailer. Wondering what's customary at this point, or if I even need to be using cardboard at all. Wanted to get some opinions and options. So I don't have a good answer because I don't do bulk in bubble mailers. So the handful that I do, I just cut with cardboard. And I think some people mentioned that in Max is doing more volume and doesn't want to cut. So I understand that. So if anybody does or has options on the on the cheap, remember it's bulk. So there are companies that custom cut cardboard, but they tend to be kind of expensive. So check out the Facebook group. Questions like that, mail days, good stuff. Our chat goes on throughout the day. So check that out. Let's go into the chat. We've got Harlan in the house. Terry, good morning. Wesley collects cards. Good morning. Who do you contact at Goodwill to buy a pallet? I can't reveal my sources. I will say that there are Goodwill pallets on the Goodwill website on the auctions. So that's, I think there's only a few locations. So chances are you may not be close to one of those locations. There you go. Terry, I think Terry sources his through the Goodwill auction website. So that's a good place to start. Brian Dean, good morning. David, what's happening? George in the house. Good morning, Todd. Thank you. Love the Goodwill pallets. Michael Renicky, what's up? Getting a pallet is both a dream and a nightmare for me. Sometimes it is for me too. It's the last I don't feel so now it's like, but Bo, a month ago, you're like freaking out. You're talking about throwing cards away. And yet here you are buying another pallet. You bought 11 4-row boxes of Bowman draft. What are you doing? You're talking out of your ass. By design. I was only worried about my bulk situation during the house sale process. Getting it cleaned up, staged. I didn't want to have all of these cards, and the timing didn't work where, I don't feel comfortable putting cards, even if they're junk, in the new house in the basement because they haven't even started drywall yet. So I want to make sure it's safe for me to start loading cards into the new house. So now that the house is sold, showings are over, I can be a mess again and I can buy Goodwill pallets. So now it's where the hell do I put the biggest problem is not bringing the cards in the house. Well, that is part of the problem. The problem is I've got to get all of it out of my car by Saturday. And I've got, I guess today's only Thursday. I've got 3 full days. But the problem lies into where do I put the stuff that I know I haven't sorted through. And that's what I've talked about, where like every space should have a purpose. I don't have that here because I have too much stuff. So I'm using, like, basically at the new house, this room, well, background wise, I'll be doing my videos from like the office at the new house. So you won't have a card backdrop, but the card backdrop won't be as piled up as this, because what this space would be and where I would do my shipping will be my eBay storeroom, where I will have these shelves of my inventory, but I won't have like 2 million cards, 1.5 million cards in this space. That'll be in the big storage area where I will have 1.5 dozen of those large shelves. That'll be the card room. So everything has a space. So there'll be a couple shelves devoted to Cubs. Okay, that wall is all Cubs. And then this section is already sorted, either bulk or getting ready to list on. Actually, no, we don't want to do that. So this one will be bulk. And then this one will be ready for eBay store listing. This will be, and then this shelf or these 2 shelves will be for not yet sorted. We need to go through this stuff. So I want every shelf to have its own purpose. And then so I can just rotate out. Okay, these have now been sorted. Another pallet comes in. I have space on the shelves. Work it that way. So I don't have that here. I just don't have the space here. So I've got the closet just piled. Hi, I've got everything in this room. I've got the storage room where I've got Cubs in the storage room. Here in the storage room, I've got potential eBay stuff in there. I've got bulk in there. I've got unsorted stuff. I've got a whole shelf of unsorted stuff. So I'm looking forward to getting space for each thing. Scott, good morning. Herman, what's happening? Dan, what's up? Cropping Menkos to post on the blog. Very cool. Currently listing and listening. I'm like listing and listening. Very cool. Victor's in the house. What's up? I did list in preparation for next week's NFL draft. I'm looking forward to it. In preparation of the NFL draft, I listed all of my chrome and pink chrome refractors from last year's Bowman U. I had a whole stack, and I thought, I'm just going to list these. And I thought about doing the unthinkable, listing it as a 99-cent auction, and then I knew it would probably sell for 99 cents. So I scanned all of them through the Fujitsu. They scan okay. The only thing is it takes a little bit longer because you've got to confirm, yes, this is the right scan, because it thinks it's pulling multiple papers through since they're a little thicker with the chrome. But I got all those listed. I think there was about 175 maybe, pink chrome refractors and chrome refractors. A few sold already. I mean, I didn't comp anything. There were a couple like CJ Stroud, I think I listed for $5. There was a couple others that I think I listed for like $3. Everything else is $2 or best offer. So I sold a Desmond Ridder. I sold a couple others. So I think I sold about a half a dozen. I listed the rest of my Bowman draft that I had sorted. Anthony Volpe is like on fire. Listed 150. And so basically what I did was, of the players I sorted, I put 50 per team bag. And then I listed so I know how many I have. Okay, I have 3 Anthony Volpe plus a stack of extras. So I probably have like 190 Anthony Volpe. It's all around like 180 to 200 of each player that I pulled. I think I've already sold 15 Anthony Volpes, and they were just listed last night. So I listed Jordan Walker, Anthony Volpe, a bunch of firsts, and most of them are $1.50 free shipping. A couple of them I think I listed for $2, but most of them $1.50. Let's see. So that's what I listed yesterday. Hall of Fame card collector, what's up? Good morning. He couldn't sleep last night. That's not good. That's like one of the worst feelings in the world. Twofold. It's the worst feeling in the world when you are in the process of not being able to sleep, but also when you have to get up and you didn't get a good night's sleep and then you feel like shit the rest of the day. Brian Wolf, what's up? Good morning. Turtle B, what's up? He's got 4 of those from Minnesota. Very nice. Jenny Miller says, would a pallet fit in a Prius? And would bulk shipping be best for pallets? Let's see. No and no. No and no. I love driving on the Beltline from the east side of Madison, especially in the afternoon. But when I've got a whole bunch of cards in the back, it's kind of dicey. You don't want to I don't want to knock cards over switching lanes. And then you get stuck behind a Prius. You have to slam on the brakes. JW, what's up? Good morning. Cubs are looking good, aren't they? Wow. What a fun game yesterday. In fact, I had got home yesterday afternoon, and I come downstairs. I had a couple boxes that I wanted to look through, and I'm like, I'm going to put some baseball on. It's like, I wish the Cubs were on. And I go to MLB, and I'm looking through, and it's like Cubs A's second inning. I'm like, oh, crap, I forgot. It's that weird start time. I think it was a 2:37 first pitch, so I got to watch all of the Cubs game. Mason Miller looked good, starting pitcher for the Oakland A's. It's just too bad he's the starting pitcher for the Oakland A's. But, I mean, he left, I think, was it a tie game or maybe a one-run game? And then the Cubs poured on the runs. The Cubs won 10-2, but through like 5 innings, it was like a 2-1 game or a 1-1 or 2-2 game. It was a close game. Mason Miller did a good job starting pitcher. By the way, speaking of the Oakland A's and their AAA team they have out there, looks like they're like legit moving. I just saw this morning. Statement from the Oakland A's. This was released last night at like 11 p.m. The A's have signed a binding agreement to purchase land for a future ballpark in Las Vegas. We realize this is a difficult day for our Oakland fans and community. For more than 20 years, the A's have focused on securing a new home for the club and have invested unprecedented time and resources for the past 6 years to build a ballpark in Oakland. Even with support from fans, leaders at the city, county, and state level, and throughout the broader community, the process to build a new ballpark in Oakland has made little forward progress for some time. We have made a strong and sincere effort to stay here. We recognize that this is very hard to hear. We are disappointed that we have been unable to achieve our shared vision of a waterfront ballpark. As we shift our focus to Vegas, we will continue to share details about next steps. Wow. I think we all saw that coming. It's still, even though it's like, it's inevitable, it's still like a wow when you read it in print from the actual team. David, we're going to get you into the Hobby Evolution Facebook group. You are in. Facebook link in the chat and the description of this video. So Oakland A's, Las Vegas Athletics, soon to be. Boy, the A's are just, nobody wants the A's. Philadelphia, Kansas City, Oakland, now Las Vegas. So, man, they have such a bad team. I wish I tweeted it. I wish Oakland was in the National League Central. I wish the Cubs could play them more often. This is fun baseball. Let's see. Card Hobbyist says Subaru would be better. Yes, a Subaru would be a better option. Terry says, I discovered when I bought my last Gaylord, the contents will fit in my car. I got rid of my SUV a while back. I'm stuck on SUVs. I've gone to the SUV. I can't go back. I've had an SUV. I had a Ford Taurus for my, I drove my Ford Explorer into the ground. That was like my first real job gift to myself. And my first car, I've had how many cars have I had? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6. No, 7. This is my 7th. Pontiac Sunbird was my 16th. That was when I turned 16. Then I got a Dodge Avenger in college. That was a sweet ride. Love that thing. It was a lemon. It's a pile of shit, but it was cool looking. It was fun to drive. And then when I got my first real job, I bought a Ford Explorer. That thing was awesome. And I drove it and drove it and drove it. I think I ended up putting like 180,000 miles on, and just finally bit the bullet. And then I got because it was kind of sudden, so I got a Ford Taurus. I think I only had that for a year or two. And then I got a Ford Escape, which is a small. So Explorer is like the big, and then there's like Expedition, the gigantic ones. But the Escape is the small one, and I had an Escape for a couple of years. I had it for a few years, actually. I had it, I'm trying to think. I had it couple years into Wisconsin, and then I leased a Ford Edge. I really liked it. So then when my lease came up, it's like, I'm not going to lease again. It's just not for me. It's not worth a lease. So I bought a used Ford Edge, but I was looking at other SUVs, and I just kept going. It's like, man, this doesn't drive like a Ford Edge. So I ended up getting a Ford Edge. Let's see. But now that it's like, man, I wish I had a Ford Explorer, because those are like big now. Those are like, they're bigger than what I had. Mine was more of the boxy. Like my Ford Explorer that I had was an 01 or 02. So it was because I think they changed the body style in 03 or 04. So mine was a little more boxy. But I'd have more space in an Explorer. And then I also thought, here's something I thought as I was driving back from picking up my pallet yesterday, because I've talked about this frequently. I'd love to have an RV. Not because I'm a camper. I haven't camped. I don't think I've camped in 25, 30 years. But I'm not like an outdoor, like I'm not a camper. But I'd love to have one just to drive around. I'd love to put like 1 million Cubs in like just a big marketing vehicle and drive to places like the National and spring training, which I've already I don't know if I want to drive to Arizona. But then also like when I pick up bulk, and I wouldn't have to like worry about exchanging freaking bulk out of my trunk every other day, because that's what I'm going to have to do. If I had an RV, I could just like go park it in storage, take what I want. Okay, I'm going to take these boxes, and then tomorrow or the next day, and it's like storage. But then I got to thinking, when I'm loading these in, it's super easy. The Gaylord is rolled out right to the back of my SUV, and I just pull things and put them. But in an RV, I wouldn't have that, depending on if there's like outdoor storage. But it's like, is there going to be leaks in there? You don't want that. So you're going to have to like pull up and then like walk it in. And I just think it would be more work. I guess I'm shit out of luck, right? Let's see. Turtle B, what's up? The pallets are fun. I always found cool stuff. Been a couple of years since I've done it. Good luck. Thank you. Yeah, this is like number 14, I think. I get them about once a month, although it's been like 2.5 months. I got 2 of them in January. It was like 2 months before I had one. All of a sudden they're like, hey, we got a pallet. And then like 2 weeks later, another one. And I'm like, shit, I still have stuff from my last pallet 2 weeks ago in my car. And I'm reading ahead. I see Brian's comment, and that's pretty genius. 77 live viewers. We set the record yesterday, 89 live viewers. So hit the like button. I think when the chat's lively, I think that like hits the YouTube algorithm. It's like a lot of people are chatting live on this stream, and they show it to more people. Anyway, what was I talking about? The pallets. Yeah. So this is the first one since January. I think 30th was the last pallet. So I'm going to get to Brian's comment here. This is genius. Why not take the tubs with you? That way you don't have to load them twice. That is the quote of the day. Brian with the gold star. That is genius. I never even thought of that. That is a really, really good point. So I think I'm going to do that next time. Write it down. I'm going to write it down. Angel Baby, what's up? Good morning. Card Hobbyist is here. Need a refill. Turn off the garden sprinkler. Hey, our grass is finally getting green. We've had some rain the last few days. It's been freaking cold too, but we've needed that rain to green things up, which is nice to see. It'd be nicer to see like 80 degrees again and not 45, but hey, beggars can't be choosers, right? Card Hobbyist has to get a refill. Grab me one while you're up there. Alex, good morning. Time to eat crow. I switched up 2 postcards, bulk listing. Luckily, both buyers are friendly. Uh-oh. See, that's what I'm trying to avoid. When bulk listing, switching orders, getting them out of order. There you go. Alex switched them up. Both buyers friendly. And to be honest, I've had that happen. Now, I mean, I think you're going to have issues whether you, I'm not going to stand on this soapbox like I did the other day. We all know I don't like the bulk shipping and I'm not going to use it. So whatever you say in the comments, I'm not going to do. I'm going to keep doing it my way because it works and it's more efficient for me. That's out of the way. I still make mistakes. I think I have switched cards around. And I don't know honestly how it even happened because since I do ship them, but I mean, it's happened once, twice out of 100,000 transactions. I mean, once you get into the volume game, everything happens eventually, right? It's just a numbers game. So that's what I learned when I worked in transportation. Like, we had one of our weekly sales meetings, and I think we were talking about another office got hit with a trailer was stolen. That we had that our other office had brokered one of the loads, and trailer got stolen. And our boss says, "This will happen to us. Like it hasn't yet, but it will. The more." And I mean, it was not a year later. We had like 3 trailers stolen from the carriers that we hired out. And it happened because we started doing more and more. And I think we had gone from, I'm just trying to think of where we were at load wise. But basically, just based on the numbers we did dollar wise, we had gone up from that point in time where we hadn't had any instances. We had increased our volume like 5 to 6x over the next couple of years. Where are we at? Let's see. John Keating in the house. What's up? Uncle Rich is here. Keep going. There we are. Angel Baby Cards. My Fuji 7160 is on the truck somewhere in Kansas this morning, heading to Central California. Excellent. You will love it. The Fujitsu 7160 had somebody reach out this morning looking for contact information. They want to order an 8170. I'm pretty sure if you reach out to Don at Fujitsu and you want the 8170, he can get you a discount from the retail prices. That's on the 8170. I can't guarantee that on the 7000 models, the 7160 or 7030. But I do know he's hooked up a few people that I know with the 8170. So if you're looking for the 8170, let me know. I'll pass along his info and he can hook you up with a little discount. Hall of Fame card collector, how do you withdraw money from your business to cover expenses personally? How does that work? So the way I have it set up is I take pay, like my accountant sets all this up. I have no idea. So take what I say with a grain of salt. I just listen to what he says. So basically I have a percent of like my earnings is my salary. which is it's not a livable salary. But so that goes into my personal account like on a monthly basis. It's just automatically withdrawn from my business account, goes into my personal account. And then when I need to pay bills, I take what's called a draw. So when I deposit money from my business account to my personal account, it's just a draw. So when I do taxes, and I do mine on an annual basis right now, and my business year is October 1st to September 30th. So in August and September, I'm starting to get all of my stuff in order. And then I'll go and I'll report, okay, I took X amount of money in draw this year. So he does his tax voodoo magic. So that's how it works, at least for my business. And I think there's probably multiple ways to do it. David Mercer, what's up? Good morning. Flawed Thinker in the house. ORD for John. He's at the O'Hare. The O'Hare. He can handle a pallet a week. Chicago. It's a hell of a town. Or is that what? Am I singing the right song? I don't know. BRB. I need a hot coffee for this video. Mark Marinello in the house. Can't wait to see the pallet. So I'm gonna go through a few things, and I haven't cherry picked. I don't know what's in any of these. Basically, what I do is I just load them into my car. Rich says, terrible like percent. Smash that like button. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Sorry I missed being part of the record yesterday. We hit 89 live viewers. Zach and Porter in the house. Jenny says, he says there won't be a card backdrop in the new house. Maybe not for a few months. It will build. Well, there will be card backdrops, just not in the room where I will be doing video. Let's see. Angel Baby, also a problem. These cards come from lots of places. They sometimes have dust, dirt, and even mold. As I go through them, the stuff blows into my face, and that's a problem. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And sometimes it's just like, I'm just going to throw this away. How much profit will you make before taxes on that new pallet? So John is correcting me on the pronunciation. I just call him Volp. I need to listen to a Yankees broadcast so I can hear what they actually say. Because there was another player. I was mispronouncing somebody's name. Who in the hell was it? And I'm like, oh, that's how you. Zach Neto, not Nito. Zach Neto, the shortstop for the Angels. TTM Bob, I enjoy your videos. Great content. Thanks for doing them. Thanks for listening, watching, and dropping in. I appreciate that. Mark is glad the A's are headed to Vegas. Bring the A's back home, says John. As an A's fan, it's officially a day of mourning. Yeah, I'm like, I feel for fans in Oakland. Like, I cannot imagine if my team was taken away, and not just to like Arlington Heights, like the Chicago Bears. I, for selfish reasons, am celebrating the potential of the Chicago Bears moving out to the suburbs. That's a lot different because Arlington Heights is still, now Chicago people will say, that's not Chicago, that's the suburbs. But for a guy from Podunk downstate Illinois, it's all Chicago. It's all Chicago. We just lump it all together. Arlington Heights, Chicago. Naperville, Chicago. Aurora, Chicago. Joliet, Chicago. It's all Chicago. Close enough, right? Close enough. But Oakland, Vegas, man, that's a hard pill to swallow. If the Cubs, like, up and left, because there was a lot of like, we're moving, and I think with the Cubs it was like, we're moving out to the suburbs. I mean, that if the Cubs moved anywhere, the Bears, I don't care, because I don't like Soldier Field. I don't like that area. It's hard to get to for a Wisconsin, a cheesehead. I'm not going to call myself a cheesehead, but I live in Wisconsin. It's just hard to get down there, and the traffic is brutal. Wrigley's a lot better because it's like up north, closer to Wisconsin, away from the downtown traffic and the gridlock of the downtown city of Chicago. So, but if the Cubs moved away from, I would be disappointed. No, even if they moved 10 miles out into the suburbs, that would be, but they're not going to do that now because look at how they've built up Wrigley Field. But 10, 15, 20 years ago, that wasn't the case. But if the Cubs like up and move to like Omaha, Brian would be happy. I would not be happy. Mark says that makes 3 teams to leave the Bay Area. So who else is left? Well, the Raiders. Who's the third? Oakland Raiders, and who am I missing? Basketball or hockey? Let's see. Are the San Jose Sharks still a team in hockey? Zach and Porter says, Porter and I read up on the elephant affiliation to the A's. Interesting. Oh, that's something I might have to Google. Makes sense. Raiders went to Vegas. Too many teams in California. I think the A's leaving is for the better. Not sure if Vegas is the right place, but it's a start. I think Vegas is a good place. Vegas is starting to become a new hub for professional sports teams. Kicked it off right with the hockey team. The Golden Knights are in Vegas. The Raiders, now baseball. I think there'll be an NBA team in Vegas. I mean, Vegas is becoming a big, huge city that can withstand professional sports teams. It'll be interesting to see. So Oakland to Vegas, and I think we'll see other city. Will like the Marlins or the Tampa Bay Rays? Will those 2 teams move? I don't see any, and this is a thought. This is just me rambling and coming up with various thoughts. Because I thought, what if, and I'm going to talk baseball, Major League Baseball. Would there be? Do you think there will be? What's the word? Expansion teams. Do you think MLB will expand? I don't think so. Is there any rules on that? I don't even know if there's any rules on it. I'm just thinking out loud here. I think, especially with the contraction of minor league baseball, I don't think you can. I mean, look at the Oakland A's. Like, do you want to have 2 more big league teams in Major League Baseball with the product that Oakland is putting out this year? Ugh. I mean, I like it. The last 3 days, I loved it for my Cubs, but I can't see expansion in Major League Baseball, especially with the recent contraction in minor league baseball. So I think if we see other cities getting Major League Baseball teams, it would have to be through teams moving like Oakland, and probably who else is up to move? Probably one of the Florida teams, the Rays or the Marlins. I think the Rays have been kind of the team that is spoken about the most, and I know Nashville's a hot button city that Major League Baseball is. That I think we'll get a team. Salt Lake City, I've started hearing blurbs. I'd love to have the Montreal Expos back. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to see a team in Montreal. There, Nuke says Tampa Bay will be the next to relocate. I think so. Good morning, Cooter. What's happening? Big Harv says, I'm willing to listen to offers as a free agent fan. Love it. Mark says all of the professional leagues are in bed with the gambling sites. Match made in heaven. There is some truth to that. A lot of truth to that. Andy says you could sort, and that's actually something that I thought of. Like the load-in process of an RV would be difficult, but I would already have cards in the RV that I can sort. That would be fun. Cooter, he will buy an RV and pay to store it with baseball cards in it, but won't rent a storage for his cards. Correct. Because a storage unit, I can't drive a storage unit, but I can drive an RV, and it's like it serves both purposes. It's like a rolling storage unit. No Goodwills in PA have done pallets yet. Yeah, I don't think there's too many Goodwills that offer the pallet. The Gaylord. Good morning, Kyle. What's up? Love to see the Goodwill pallet news. Hoping for some bulk NASCAR. I think there's at least one. I have a few binders. I don't know if there's any NASCAR in these binders, but there's a bunch of binders. A lot of times there's, well, as you know, because how many did you get? Like 12 binders of NASCAR. So I know there's at least one binder. We'll see what else is in there. Flipping Sports Guy. A couple of them do the online auctions, but never bulk it up. AA cards in the house. Record of 89 yesterday, but if you're low roller, he saw over 100. Don't be surprised to see an NBA team in Vegas. Oh, for sure. And that's where the Summer League is. I mean, the NBA Summer League has been in Vegas for a long time. We're at 85 live viewers, getting close to that record. Andy Mack says, hit that like button. We're up to 30 likes now. Heck yeah. Wesley collects cards. What's he say? Where's Wesley collects cards? James says, that's not Chicago. It's close enough. Where are we at? Yeah, there's Wesley. I don't listen to Bo every day, but when I do, it's every day. Thank you. No offense to Brian, but I'd like LRS to sign off on the tub idea before implementation. Terry says there is possible snow in the forecast here in Minnesota for Friday and Saturday. That frickin', what's our forecast? Hopefully I'd love to see 80, but that's a pipe dream. I don't think we're supposed to have any snow. We're going to get some rain today. It's going to be 68 degrees today, but then it's Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be in the 40s. Boo. I swiped 2 cards once. Both buyers had the same first name and last name starting with the same letter. I have since changed my method of shipping. That's a bummer. Let's see. Heads up, might be a good idea to discuss all the secondary costs for eBay selling, then shipment, supplies, and costs. I had to bypass the 8170 so I could have enough money for all. Yeah, it's and that's what I say. If you want to start like diving in with the Car Dealer Pro and the feed scanners, and the thermal label printers, it's all about scaling up and buying what you can handle. That would be a good idea for a video. Like what? Okay, if you're starting from scratch, you have $0 in your expense budget, and how to scale up. What are you buying first? It's a good point. I think having supply. I think first off, supplies on hand. Buying them in bulk. Buy a case. Don't go to Walmart because if you go to Walmart over and over and over for certain things like supplies, when you could buy those in bulk. Now envelopes, you might have to go to Walmart to get the best deal. And then scale up once that's paid for, then get the thermal label printer. Once that's paid for, build up for the Fujitsu. And you can start with the 7030 or the 7160. I used the 7030 for a year and it worked great. So maybe do that. You can buy refurbished 7030 or 7160. Buy a refurbished for $300-400, and then build up to a 8170. New York is a hell of a town. Chicago is my kind of town. Thank you, John. I'd like to know if Ultra Pro is better than the other brand sleeves and top loaders. Don't want to jam the scanner. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't scan the penny sleeves. So I don't know and I don't scan top loaders either. So I don't know what would the better option be on those. Grinding for good. Good morning to you. Brian says, by the way, you don't want to wrap your vehicle saying 1 million Cubs. That will attract possible break-ins. That's a good point, but I want a rolling billboard. I guess if I did that, I wouldn't want to have I'm not going to have a museum of my best Cubs cards in the RV. But that if I'm traveling and I do happen to have some good stuff, I might want to be careful of invest in a nice safe. Of course, a safe in an RV, it's not going to be something that, So yeah, that's a good point, Brian. John says, I just wish I were there for Bo yesterday when he was struggling to find the phrase self-induced. Flipping Sports Guy says, I use ProSafe and haven't had any issues with my 7030. The Yankees announcer pronounces it the way I wrote it. Okay, I'll take your word for it. You guys put penny sleeves through the 7030, asks Jenny. The Yankees announcer does agree with you on Neto. And top loaders through the 7030. I have done top loaders, Jenny, but didn't like the sound, so never did it again. Penny sleeves work fine, though. I just take out the top roller. John says, maybe fans in Oakland should have supported the team. Attendance was crap when they were the best team of the 70s. James says, that's not Arlington Heights. It's Chicago. Close enough. Flipping Sports Guy says, worst part is Oakland hasn't lost just one team to Vegas. They've lost two. I know, right? Bummer. Where are we at? Andy Mack says, hey, an Aurora shout out. I'm thrilled for the Arlington Heights move too. Yes. John says they averaged $12K a game when they were winning 3 rings in a row. That's brutal. Jenny says, interesting on the sleeves. So are you putting chrome through with that method? Baseball card curmudgeon in the house. Card Hobbyist says, Braves moved to the burbs, and it has been a huge success. Rich says, the Golden State Warriors. Where are they at now? Let's see. I do Jenny and haven't had any marks on those. Raiders left twice. Yeah, they did. They went to LA first, now Vegas. The Sharks are still a team, San Jose. Bargain Boxer, I'm curious, have you kept track of every pallet to see which one was best? No, I haven't. Rank them 1 to 14, best to worst. That would be interesting to know. I don't, because it's just too much. It would take too much time for like anecdotal. I mean, it would be interesting, but it's just not it's not something I want to spend time on. I don't do that with any bulk buy. I kind of have an idea. But with the Goodwill pallets, in fact, I think the last one might have been my best with all the junk wax. I mean, I'm still selling junk wax, and I still have 2 rows of a 4-row box filled with like junk wax rookies that just continue to sell. And that was the one that I almost passed on. This one I'm going to get into talking about, and we're going to go through here in just a second. We're going to go through some of the stuff that I pulled out just randomly. And I'm going to share my thoughts on what I think, because I always like to share my thoughts going into a pallet, what is going to be the best and what I expect from this pallet. We've tied the record, 89 live viewers. Can we make it to 90? I'm going to look at the chat. Let's go 90. Let's not go the other way. Angel Baby says, Oakland has been having a lot of problems here in California, although we are supportive of the A's because of all the crime in San Fran and Oakland for decades. People here are just avoiding. Good morning, Johnny Boy Cards in the house. If you're just joining the stream, we're going to go through some of the Goodwill pallet that I picked up yesterday. So stay tuned. We'll get to that in just a couple minutes. Oakland averaged less than 10,000 fans a game in 2022. Hate to say it, but at that rate, you deserve to lose a team no matter how bad you are or were. Yes, I agree. Brian says, I don't like crowds. Also, Cubs fans are like Huskers fans. Uh-oh. Let's see. Zach and Porter, how many Americans think that the A's won a World Series playing Moneyball? Right? Yeah, probably. Well, they made a movie about it. They had to be good. Good morning, Donald Davis in the house. I mailed you some Cubs cards yesterday. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for jumping on and joining the chat. Mark says, going back to the 70s, Oakland had the Golden Seals. They disbanded after a few seasons. Rich says, actually, expansion would not be a problem because the minor leagues are still averaging as many players as previous in an organization. The new limit is 165. The previous average was 166. Interesting. I did not know that. So adding franchises would actually help get more jobs and teams back to the minors. Mark says, back in the 70s, the NHL had a team in the Bay Area, the Golden Seals. They disbanded after a few seasons. And Portland needs a team, so teams can do Seattle, and Portland has back-to-back stops. Yeah, Portland. I've heard Portland talked about a lot in potential new market for Major League Baseball. That was the speaking of back-to-back stops. I mean, that's big in 92 live viewers in college athletics, especially when you're a low major. Is travel. When I was in the Summit League at Western Illinois, we had Denver, the University of Denver University. And it was an outlier. And it's like, gosh, who's the travel? They had travel partners. You would play conference Thursday, Saturday. So Oral Roberts had left. And so Denver was kind of the outlier. And so I think we kind of rotated on our trips to Denver. It would be Denver and I think South Dakota one year. And I think it was Denver and Omaha one year. I think it was just those 2 years that Denver, when I was there, that Denver was in the conference. But then Oral Roberts came back, and that was somewhat kind of a decent travel partner for them. Dakotas were easy. you had 3 Dakota teams, North Dakota State, South Dakota State, USD. And usually it would be the states. The Bison and the Jackrabbits would be the travel partners, and then USD would be a travel partner with Omaha. And then we had UMKC, and that would be, I think, one year we did like a week-long road trip. We went to UMKC, Omaha, USD. It was a long week. Anyway, where are we at? Bargain Boxer, since Vegas is growing sports like crazy, you think the National will ever go to Vegas to accommodate all those dealers on the West Coast? It's a great question. I don't know. There's a lot of East Coast pull as far as the National goes. I think Vegas could definitely accommodate the National. It's just, will dealers choose to go to Vegas for the National? Rich Klein could better speak to that question. My thought, my uneducated opinion, or an educated guess, would be the dealers that vote on locations heavily skew Midwest, East Coast. Yes, there are dealers on the West Coast. There are less of them. They'll get outvoted. That's my thought. I'd love to hear Rich's thoughts on that. Zach and Porter says, all sports were worried about Vegas teams because of the gambling element. Now it controls all their broadcasts and margins. Yeah. Put Rose in the Hall of Fame. I used to be like a huge proponent of Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. Now I don't care because he's made a mockery. Pete Rose is a freaking clown. And I don't care if he's in the Hall of Fame or not. So, and it's not, I want Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame. I want Roger Clemens in the Hall of Fame. I want those guys in the Hall of Fame, but Pete Rose has just made a mockery. I just don't care at this point. Joe Jackson, Hall of Fame. Pete Rose, I don't care. Baseball would allow the new franchises to have minor league teams. Riggs, good morning. Rumor has it the A's are buying land here in Vegas to move a team. Yes. Yes, sirree. Screw a new baseball room in the comfort of my house. I'm going to work in the RV, right? Let's see. Sometimes, hey, when you spend all day and all night in your house, it might be nice to go out to the RV. Uncle Rich says, where are we at? Yeah, we got to get to 100. Got to get to 100 live viewers. Where are we at? Son of a bee. By the way, we will get to the pallet. There we are. No, but Southern California is just 3 hours away from Vegas by car. Anaheim is having a huge show Labor Day weekend. Yeah, the Burbank shows are kind of like the new Dallas card show. Jenny says, the bigger the hobby area, the more the Goodwill will do pallets. There's a reason Bo can find all these pallets. Look at the amount of bulk he can find all over his area. Let's see. Card Hobbyist says, I like the Moneyball movie, but I hate how they never mentioned the fact they had Chavez, Tejada, and Dye, as well as the three-headed monster. Let's see. Flipping Sports Guy says, yeah, Philly. I mean, East Coast is huge in the hobby, more so than Wisconsin. Let's see. Snow still. Boo. Victor wants to know if John's in town or just passing by. I'm waiting for P and my donation of 20K cards or so to hit Bo's pallet. The funny thing is, I think my pallet is like just in this concentrated area. Just based on like, sometimes I found like a kid's report card and, you'll find different school IDs and stuff like that from like 1988. And it's all from this general area. John is flying to LAX. It will be boxes with no Cubs or White Sox cards. Question, does it make sense to simply pull loads of boxes from Walmart or Target? They're both close by. In terms of buying retail, I would say no. That would not be a good move. Jenny says, snow still is not surprising. Let's see. Of course, this is well up north by Canada. Very common to see. This is about the last. Usually this week is kind of like the last for my area in Wisconsin. This is like the last week that we get snow. We had like 8 inches a few years ago. We had 8 inches on like April 25th, 23rd, somewhere around there. But very uncommon. Flurries, we can see some flurries through the rest of the month, but nothing significant, no measurable snowfall here. Terry says, I started scanning about 10 years ago with a Fujitsu 5000 series, but without AI, the listing was slow going. Yeah. With the new mayor of Chicago and the teenage takeover, I am considering going to the National, even if, I mean, come on, Randy, come on. Rosemont is like, Rosemont might as well be Champaign in terms of the close. It's an hour from Chicago. You'll be okay. It is Rosemont. Let's see. Angel Baby Cards. I can't tell you the peace of mind I am experiencing since I bought a TL15 safe. No worries now whatsoever. Let's see. Nobody steals Cubs cards. Warriors moved across the bay to San Francisco. Good morning, Red Light 34 in the house. John says they'd start a GoFundMe for Bo instead of stealing his cards. Call your friends. We're within 5 of the all-time record, and we hit the record. Joe says, I'm glad there aren't pallets sold around me. It has kept me married so far. Hit those thumbs up. Thank you, Card Hobbyist. Tried to get you to 90 by logging on my phone app since I'm on my computer. Apparently, I can have you on many devices, and it only counts as one watching. It probably only counts one account, I'm guessing. Let's see. I wonder, and I mean, I don't know if I log on to my phone. Let's see. I wonder if it would count me since I'm streaming. I'm not watching. Let's click on it and see. Did it go up? I don't think so. Let's see. John doesn't have friends. Rich feels like an OG. I thought the ads before Bo's video and supporting those businesses paid for the Cubs card. I've been lied to, and I don't want to do with all these Hims pills. Let's see. Your kids will qualify. Yep, hate to say it, but my cards became my friends in this era. Skip too far ahead. John says, my kids don't take my calls. I think I'm blocked. Ripping wax is gambling like anything else in Vegas. Absolutely. The Portland Fentanyls does have a ring to it. Rose should be there. I think American Pickers inspired a lot of sports card collectors. We're thinking about it. John says, very sick of the when will the National go west dead horse. Bring up the map, Bo. Show them. I'm not on StreamYard. But yeah, if you look at cardshowmap.com, take a look at west of the Mississippi River. That's why the National isn't on the West Coast. So many Cub fans in Omaha, which is so weird since the Royals minor league. Yeah, in the like Kansas City is pretty close to Omaha. But I think that's the WGN factor. Like people all over the country are Cubs fans because they could watch the games. Same with the Braves, the Superstation. Angel Baby has a question. What do you know about TCMA? I'm picking them up now. TCMA is cool. It's Rich can I know it's Mike Ehrenstein, and I can't remember the TC. 70s cards, they're really cool. A lot of different sets. I know Cooter in here. I know John's a big fan. They're cool cards. I like them. Let's see. Greg Lopez, what's up? How do you find a pallet like that? If you go to the Goodwill website, they do have auctions on occasion. So that's one place you can find them. John says Pete Rose's post-playing career income has been built around being banned. I agree. Oh, it is 420. Smoke them if you got them. Henry says, I don't know where my Goodwill sends cards, but they missed one. 9293 signed Mark Macon in a dark yellow top loader. Victor says National is not close to Chicago. No worries. We will need to meet up close to the National and avoid taking the train to the city. Tom Colliers. Thank you. Herman has a big stack of the TCMA. All right, let's get into the Goodwill pallet. So before I dive in, I like to share my thoughts on what I think this Goodwill pallet to be. I don't think, based on pulling everything out of the pallet and putting it in, I didn't do a lot of I didn't open boxes. A lot of times it was cold and kind of windy yesterday. If it was like a nice sunny day, 80 degrees, I probably would have spent more time ooh, cool, looking at binders, flipping through, but I just wanted to get everything in the car. So with that said, still just kind of eyeballing everything as I was loading it in. I think there might be a lot of junk in here, but I don't know until I start going through stuff. So I my car just kind of dropped crap on me. So we'll go through. There's three things. That fell out and it's a large part. And these are some of the things that I like. Binders. I found some really good cards out of binders. So this is and it's kind of fun. It's like a glimpse into somebody's childhood collection at times. So this is Trek Mountain Bikes sticker, and we've got a Sterling Sharp card. I'm in Wisconsin, so there's always a lot of Packers and Brewers in these Goodwill pallets. So I'm just gonna flip, and you can't see obviously. But I'm going to go through just to see. This is a lot of commons, so I'll just pull one out. Like this is a binder with like a beat up 91 Fleer Ultra Vance Mueller. We've got some mid 90s common basketball. So this looks like a lot of junk. So this binder, what I would probably do with this binder is put it in the bulk. I'm going to sell this in bulk. Herman says, I'm making good use of that StreamYard subscription. I probably would do the same with StreamYard because StreamYard annoys me that you can't have two cameras on at once. Got a Rick Meyer rookie card. So sometimes it's not always, here's a Rashawn Salam, but it's beat to hell. So something I can't even act. How the hell do I don't even know how to. Oh, it's way up here. Oh, these are like the tall boy binder pages. Huh, that's cool. If anybody wants tall boy binder page. So this is like creased in half. It's an action-packed. The Night is Young Monday Night Football. Rashawn Salam. It's going to the garbage because it's beat to hell. So yeah, sometimes you just get a lot of just junk. I mean, this I probably, with some of the condition, I'll probably just throw this binder away because the cards are junk and it's Zach wants a slum. Okay, I'll pull it out of my garbage pile. It's junk and it's beat up. It's beat up junk. So if it was in good condition, here's your dumpster dive, Rashawn Salam. So sometimes that's what you get. Sometimes I get really good stuff in the binders. So, and sometimes the binders are like, this is a nice binder. Like I have sold, it's still got the original Ultra Pro thing. So this is a nice binder. I've sold these binders. Learn about technology from me. So I've sold these binders at card shows for like $5. Here, let's stop Herman from complaining. Here we go. Oh, let's see. How about now? Okay. Here you go. So now, so we've got some Pinnacle. Remember Bobby Hoying? Hoying? I don't have the space to, well, let's see. I'll try to do this. I don't want you to get. Let's see. Go dumpster diving and quit being elitist on condition. I'm curious, did anybody ever have sense to buy a case of 86 Fleer back in the day? No, I did not. Well, I was 4. Card Hobbyist says, Bo, do you ever donate cards back to Goodwill? I do not, because they would just end up back in my hands. So no, I do not. Typically what I do is I'll just sell a truckload of cards on Facebook Marketplace. So this is another binder of like 90s football. What do you do with cards you have that have dinged corners? I throw them away. Sometimes they get mixed into my bulk that I sell. But if they're like really beat up, I just throw them in the garbage. Actually, I throw them in the recycle bin. I'm green. Okay, so this is another just junk. I'm being elitist. At least these are like at least through the binder pages, it appears that they are in not beat up condition. So these are just a star rookie of Pat Barnes, a Billy Joe Tolliver. Let's see, who's that? Scott Mitchell of the Detroit Lions. Eddie Kennison. I loved Eddie Kennison. I was a Rams fan when they had training camp in Macomb, Illinois. Eddie Kennison was like one of the nicest dudes. Great guy. Big fan. And then played for the Bears for a couple of years. The nice thing about binders is usually the cards are in good condition. Yes, because what I'm going to show you next is when the cards are not in good condition. But I'll share a story of why I still get excited when I see how cards are stored in the next particular way. All right, this is just... But the thing is, the next page could be a Tom Brady rookie. You never know. By the way, I have not pulled a Tom Brady rookie card out of any Goodwill pallet. I pulled some Kobe rookies, the Mike Trout Topps Update rookie. Hell, I've even pulled a Wander Franco rookie not long after the card came out. Last summer, there was a Wander Franco rookie in one of the pallets. This is a lot of 90s football. This is like for me, this is like the worst of the worst, because there were no like top rookies. I know Zach's like just cursing at me right now, but mid 90s football, just there were no big rookies, nothing of big value. You know, when I look through this, I know there's not going to be a Tom Brady unless I get to a little more modern cards, because these are all like, what, 95, 93, 94, 95. Jim Schwantz, Michael Haynes, Chris Zorich, Ironhead, Craig Hayward, Tunch Ilkin, yes. So basically what I would do with this, I would set this aside and I would probably just put this in the bulk sale. So this whole binder, I wouldn't even pull any cards. I'm just going to put this on a shelf where I put all of my bulk for sale. There's nothing worth pulling to list as singles. Maybe if it was during football season, here's the draw your own trading card, Troy Aikman. Maybe if it was football season, I would. But I'm like in full-on baseball. I'm not really listing any football. Outside, of course, yesterday I listed a couple hundred cards. So, but hey, I like the binder. There's one more binder. So that's a save. And here's a binder. It's one of those just plain white office binders. Oh, we've got a Jeff Jager sighting, kicker for the Bears. Leave that binder behind as a housewarming gift. Let's see. So we're more football. So there's a lot of football in this particular. What year is this? This is 98. So, hey, we're getting closer to 2000. So we've got some Fleer Ultra. We've got Jim Harbaugh, Thurman Thomas, Isaac Bruce. Turkey cards, listen to those sticky pages. These aren't sticky. There is a binder with 88 tops, because I happened to look into it. And those are like the hard plastic from the 80s that stick together. And it's like, if it weren't for me wanting to collect 1 million Cubs, I would just automatically put in the bulk pile that I'm going to sell. But I'm a glutton for punishment. I'll go through and pull out all the Cubs. Let's see. I went to a garage sale and the guy was cleaning out the house, going to throw everything in the dumpster. I found 2 Tom Brady rookies. Yes. Oh, here's a Barry Sanders. Eric Kramer. So this one at least has some stars in it. Tim Couch. Yeah, there's Bruce Smith. Plaxico Burress, press pass, 2000. Tim Rattay. That Burress has kind of a corner ding. Are we getting, those are 2000, so we're getting close to Tom Brady era. These galleries are from 2000. Come on, we just have one more year to go. Just a year. There's that's Jake Reed. Thought that was Randy Moss. Love when Bo is triggered by Salam. I love me some Rashawn Salam. Jerome Bettis. Vinny Testaverde. I think he's underrated. Vinny Testaverde. I mean, for the name alone. Pretty cool. Eddie George up here. Chris Carter. Okay, so we did get to 2001, but no Tom, no Tom Brady. So those are the binders. Let's see. Then there was a box. Now, These can go. This is just your average white 900 count, 800 count. Doesn't say box. This can be a free for all. Victor says no Hall of Famers in those binders. Yeah, there were quite a few actually. Bruce Smith, Barry Sanders. I'm sure there was a bunch of others football wise. So these boxes can be a crapshoot. This actually kind of looks like a newer box. If it's like brown and there's all kinds of writing on it, I know it's probably going to be a bunch of 91 Fleer, 88 Donruss. But a box like this, when I see it, it's like, oh, there's potential. This could be newer stuff. So let's take a look. And we've got some, looks like Bowman Heritage on top. Wade Miller, who was once a Cub. David Martinez, Yankees. So it looks like this is going to be some newer stuff, at least early 2000s. Oh, we got a chrome refractor right on the top, Chris Goodman. So let's see. I'm going to move the camera. Let's see. How's this? Oh, shoot. I don't want to block my view of the chat either. Oh, we don't want to do that. Okay, let's go up a little. I don't want to go too far up. Okay, here we go. So it looks like we got some chrome. This is what, 2002? Nope, 2003. So we've got some Bowman. Anybody knows Uncle Rich still here? How come some of the Bowman are like super thick? I've never looked into that. If Uncle Rich isn't here, I'll have to Google it today. Because some of these early 2000s Bowman, I think Andy Marte passed away in a car accident a couple years ago. Brandon Yarborough, Grady Size. Remember when Grady Sizemore was the parallel is why they're thick? Okay. Because, yeah, this Jorge De La Rosa is like super thick. Matt Chico. So 2003, what are we looking for in Rich confirms he did pass? Oh, we got Heritage. 2012 Heritage. Some Bowman. Okay, so we do have some newer stuff. This is 2012. Got Joe Mauer. Bowman Heritage does really well for Victor. Yeah, Bowman Heritage is a nice. Here's a Willen Rosario gold parallel. Oh, hey, we got a Paul Hoylman. Paul Hoylman. I think he played for the Chiefs when I was working for the team in 2012. Yeah, Bowman Heritage is a nice seller. Early John Lester card for the Red Sox. So this is a fun box. This is a type of box I like digging through out of Goodwill pallet because we don't know what's going to be in here. We could come up on a Mike Trout. You never know. And I don't know how often, how much like Goodwill goes through, like say a box like this. You know, do they have somebody on staff that Heritage, early Heritage sells really well too. This is 2012, not too early, but it's older than it's 11 years old now. Oh, look at that. What a beautiful card. My guy, Kerry Wood. Anniversary coming up of his 20 strikeout game in a couple weeks, May 6th. These sell really well, these flashbacks. Pioneering Cosmonaut. I think she was Alexa Trivia. I think she was the answer to an Alexa Trivia recently. Another Jorge De La Rosa. Mariano Rivera, he's a big seller on eBay. Sell a lot of his cards. Checklist. Is this the year of Mike Trout's first Heritage? I think so. We want to look for a Mike Trout. Wah, wah. No Mike Trout. Back to some Bowman, another thick one. Got Matt Lorenzo. Some of these guys in the early 2000s I've never heard of. Most of them. Oh, here we got Sergio Mitre. Do not Google him. You will want to punch the computer. Lance Nix. All right. What else do we got? Is this all Bowman Heritage? There's a whole pile of Bowman Heritage in there. Rich confirms. So I'd love to see a 2012 Heritage Mike Trout. Be a $20 card maybe? Derek Barton. So far, it looks like these have been And oh, that's a thick card. Yarborough Chrome Refractor. So the thing with Goodwill is, I've done enough of these where I still find good stuff that gets overlooked. And I don't know, is this something? These cards sell really well, especially like players like Don Mattingly. Damn, now these are upside down. Justin Morneau and the old baby blues. John Smoltz. I've had a lot of John Smoltz sales. I don't know if it's one buyer buying all of them, and I know it's been some volume sales on Smoltz, or if it's the fact that he's on TV, because that can drive a market. Ben Roethlisberger. Yeah, so since he is on TV, he's Harold Reynolds sells because he's on MLB Network. Larry Walker. Molitor. Got Bernie. Randy Johnson. So nice little run of Hall of Famers there. Aaron Heilman. Oh, look at this. Speaking of Hall of Famers. Ernie. Cy Young. Catfish. Bill Mazeroski. Got Vidro and Kenny Lofton. I loved Kenny Lofton when he came to Chicago, played for the Cubs for a couple of years. Yeah, there's a weird thing about people collecting murderers. Freaky deeks, as John Keating would call them. John Papelbon, first-year Bowman. That's got to be a $1.50 card. Wade Boggs, another good seller. That's a cool hologram. Oh, hey, we got a numbered card coming up. Who was it? Oh, shoot, it's Chipper Jones. Look at that. Chipper Jones, leather and lumber, numbered out of 2,000. So we'll have to put that out. We've got another serial number. Rafael Palmeiro, another player that should be in the Hall of Fame. Numbered out of 2,000. All right. Looks like we've got some fun Elite Extra Edition coming up. Michael Vick. Priest Holmes. Mike Allstott from Joliet Catholic. Jeff Kent. Zach Lavorne. Mitch Gweller. AJ Pollock. Jesse Winker, first Bowman Chrome. Put that aside. That might be worth putting on eBay. Don't sleep on Ray Caruth. Actually, a lot of these cards. Oh, here's a low serial numbered out of 200. Brandon Brennan. Chicago. He must have been the White Sox. Alex Wood. Paul LaDuca. Here we're in the Bowman Heritage run. Tom Glavine, New York Mets. Melvin Mora. This is like a foil. Nathan Panther. Nathan Panther. That's a cool name. Mike Sweeney. Rob Hammock. Kevin Correa. Biggio. Oh, wow. This is a nice card. That's just a pretty card. Look at that. That's fun. Is Joe Buck headed for the Hall of Fame? Yes. Yes, he is. I'm going to set that aside. That's a nice card. Clemente. Yeah, Joe Buck is definitely, without a doubt, a Hall of Fame broadcaster. Bowman Heritage. Mark says, name the player should be this fast. Greg Aquino. John says Joe Buck is the Steve Garvey of announcers. There, if I hold him closer, you can see. Louis Aparicio. That's a cool. I love these retired players in Bowman Heritage. What year is this? 2003. Not sure who Who are we looking for rookie-wise in this set? I don't think there was a big rookie class in 03 fight. Because Ichiro and Pujols were, what, 01? This box would have made a fun and tough name the player. Yeah. Aesop Choi. There we go. Matt Hensley. Lou Palmisano. Another Louis Aparicio. There, where's Dan? He's probably in bed. Mark Burley. Black border. AJ Pierzynski. Piazza. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why my camera's out of focus. Focus. I think I'm going too fast, so it's not focusing. Name the player Bowman Heritage. Kill me now. I know. Is this? I wonder if this is this a parallel, because Nathan Panther's name, get it to focus, has a signature on it, whereas the regular ones don't. What if I do this? Now I won't be able to tell if it's out of focus or not. Or if I do this. Rich Harden. All right. A lot of Bowman Heritage. What's down here? What Bowman year is this? 2012. Oh, we've got some. Let's pull a pile. Okay, I'm kind of tired of going through, and you might be getting tired of looking. So here's some Bowman Heritage, or Topps Heritage. Rich, we actually have Bean's Ball Card blog to blame for not only the Goodwill pallets, but the show in general. I was inspired by Ken because it was taking so long to write blogs. And he said doing YouTube's videos is so much, there's Fred McGriff, so much faster than writing blogs. And that's kind of the genesis of this video series. And then, yes, he's also credited for helping me find my Goodwill pallet stuff pickups. Jimmy Pearsall. All right, so we're just going to go through this. Matt Merton, early Matt Merton. Duke Snyder. Aaron Boone. Oh, here's a Cub, Andy Sisco. He was tall. He was like 6'11". No, 6'9". Okay. I don't even think you can see these. I'm just flipping through them real fast. Another Jimmy Pearsall. I'll show the cool ones. Phil Rizzuto. Black border Moises Salou. All right. Harmon Killebrew. I like those. Those are cool. And we're done. We're done. Ryan Harvey Cub, Shane Victorino. All right. So let me brace yourself. I'm going to move the camera again. And I'll show you the last thing, and we won't go through it like that. How's that? Okay. Oh, let me put these cards away. John's bored of looking at Bowman Heritage, so we will treat him to ending the show. Just one more thing that I want to share from these Goodwill pallets. And this is kind of like, it's good or bad. It's good or bad. So basically with this next thing, a lot of this stuff gets thrown away. and you'll see why here in a second. But it's also where I found some higher dollar stuff. Look at this. You've just got a Ziploc bag. Corners are beat. However, two of my highest selling items, have come out of a Ziploc bag just like this. I found in one previous pallet a Milwaukee Bucks ticket stub, which was Giannis's rookie home debut. That ticket stub sold for about $250. I found a Dwayne Wade Marquette basketball card that I think sold for like $75. Let's see. In similar to this, in like this garbage, recyclable bag, it was so dirty, I thought I was going to throw it away. I had to wash my hands every time I started digging through it because it was just like dirty and just gross. But there were two Kobe Bryant rookies in top loaders. So sometimes there are top loaded cards within these bags. So I always have to go through and like sometimes everything that's, 99% of the stuff is just garbage. It's beat up and it just goes in the junk pile. I do save the Cubs even if they're beat up, but I mean, we're look at some of this stuff. 89 Bowman, Uncle Rich has to go. We've got 90 Topps basketball. So I'm just going to go through this pile real quick and I won't bore you with showing off Ronnie Sight, just creases. So these are just going straight to the garbage. The only thing I go through these for is pulling the Cubs. And if there's like a high-end card, even if it's beat up, there still might be some value depending on what it is. This is a lot of 90s basketball that's just garbage. So, yeah, we'll throw this on the floor. So I'll be going through that. Let's see. Bargain Boxer says, did you ever sell that Mike Trout rookie or do you still have it? I did sell it. Sold it. Yeah, I sold it long ago. I had a bunch of people that were interested, like locally, like dealers. We found that like pinhole, or not pinhole, but it was like a divot in the card. So that kind of killed the deal. But I ended up still selling it for $600 on eBay. And I made sure, hey, it's got this divot. I took close-up pictures, get every angle. This is what it is. Still sold, successful transaction, $600. I don't think it would sell for that today, but when was that? March? It might have been April because it was, I held it. I held on to it because it was like the offest of the off season and a lockout at the same time. So it's like, I'm not going to get rid of this now. This is the worst time to sell. So once the lockout ended and baseball began, I put it on eBay. I think it sold within 24 hours on eBay. So yeah, did sell it last April, I think is when I sold it. So that's what we had for today. Stay tuned. I'll be sharing in the Facebook group. If I find anything, that would have to go through verification now. I think it went through verification then. I think it actually did go through verification last April. Let's see. I just found a Goodwill pallet on auction. Pickup is an hour and a half. Herman, you got to do it. Herman, you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. That's like no time at all. So if I find anything good, I will share it in the Hobby Evolution Facebook group. Link is in the description. It's also here in the chat. Let's drop that link one more time because I dropped it pretty early in the show. So join the Facebook group. There's a lot of fun, good discussion going on there. How come I can't share? There we go. Copy link. Here's the link to the Facebook group. Join it. I'll also tweet any findings as well. So Twitter, or if you're not on Facebook, I'll share it on Twitter as well. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Another new record for live viewers. We hit 92. We set a record yesterday with 89. Broke it today with 92. On our way to 100. What can we do to break that 100 live viewers? So today's Thursday. Happy Thursday. We'll be live tomorrow and Saturday. There will not be a live Hobby Evolution Sunday morning. I'll be set up at the Janesville Card Show. So come see me there. I'll have quarter boxes and supplies. Herman's wife would kill him. Do you have a buddy you could like store it at your buddy's house? Or do you have an RV? Put it in the RV. All right. So that's what I had for today. Like, subscribe, join the Facebook group, all that fun stuff. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Have a great Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow.